Welcome back to the Winter Weekend Show here on Park City Television, and I am located right now in Heber Valley at the Heber Valley Railroad, where I'm joined by Mark Nelson, who is the executive director here. This winter weather, it's ideal for railroading.
It's great. The views are spectacular all year round, but at this time of year, it's fun to be in the warm train when it's cold outside, and the Heber Valley, Deer Creek Reservoir, and Mount Timpanogos are just spectacular. A lot more wildlife to see in the winter. There are bald eagles all along the lake. You almost always get to see those, and a lot of deer and other wildlife. And of course, the train itself is a great nostalgic experience, so it's a lot of fun.
I'll say it is. And of course, we're coming off of the best part of the winter season, which of course is Christmas and the North Pole train. We had a great time on that. Wow, was that fun?
Yeah, it was great. We ran 70 North Pole Express trains between the day after Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve, and we carried, the average was 440 people per train. So it was quite fun. We took a lot of people to the North Pole.
Indeed you did. 441, right? Because you had Santa on almost every train.
On the way back, every time. He found the train every single time. It was great.
Terrific. Talk to me about some of the winter trains that you're running right now.
Okay, so we run scenic trains on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We also have a low-cost, kind of noisy, karaoke, crazy time train, which is very popular with families and big groups and offices and things like that. And then our Friday night trains are different themes each time. So for example, the second half of January and in February, we have a chocolate tasting train, a cheese tasting train. We have a Taylor Swift train, Harry Potter themed train, a masquerade train, and just lots of different themes each Friday night that are a lot of fun, and they're kind of pointed toward couples and date nights. The chocolate train's a lot of fun. I kind of like chocolate. We have a lot of really great artisan chocolate makers in Utah, and so we try to get local meaning Utah chocolate, and we just, on the 2-hour ride, we'll have 4 or 5 different tastings where we'll sample something that's made.
Talk to me about your own experiences. You get up in front of these trains every now and then.
There's a lot of things about trains in general and about this railroad in particular that I think are pretty magical. Just the whole experience here is something it's not like Front Runner or some commuter train. It's a very nostalgic experience. The train equipment we have, the cars you're riding in are from the 20s and 30s, and we're not going very fast down the tracks, and we have just a lot of fantastic views and a lot of other things that we try and do on the train to make it a genuine old-fashioned experience.
I look back to those times and think about the station and some of the artwork that's inside, and it reminds me of what it must have been like when this was your mode of transportation to get from A to B, other than that horse-drawn carriage or that horse-drawn sleigh. It's really something.
It is, and I was just reading a history of railroads in Utah just over this past weekend, and in those days it was quite a thing when that line opened in 1899 up to Heber. That was pretty popular, and a lot of people, it not only carried a lot of freight, but it carried a lot of people, and it was a pretty great thing then and pretty important, and now we can really enjoy what that was like.
Now you guys are still working hard on the restoration of the Heber Creeper, the steam engine itself. Talk to me about where you guys are in the progress of that.
Okay, we actually have 2 of them we're restoring, but the 618 is the one we're working the hardest on. We've made a lot of good progress so far this winter, and we're hoping to get the wheels under it and put the tubes back in it, and it'll really start to take shape this spring, and we're still hoping that we'll have a 2017 debut of the 618 back on the tracks.
When you think about the fact that you guys have had to create the parts yourselves, the Baldwin Works isn't around anymore. You guys are doing it all. That has got to be just the most, just an amazing experience to be able to take this apart as a puzzle, put it back together. I imagine you're worried if you end up with a few extra screws.
It is. Thankfully we have a really professional Chief Mechanical Officer, Mike Manueller, and a great crew with a lot of experience in how to do that.
So you have something else special this year that's pretty exciting.
Yes, we do. In 1899, when this line was first built, it was built by the Denver Rio Grande Western Railway. And we had the opportunity last year and purchased a Denver Rio Grande Western business car that actually lived on these tracks. And it's one of those old mahogany and leaded glass cars that have staterooms and a dining room and a parlor. And we've purchased this old car and we're going to put it into service. It's in great shape. It's like new. And we're going to put it into service and be able to give people rides on that car this year too. We're really excited about that.
That's going to be a heck of an experience. But honestly, I'm fine with the bunk car. It doesn't matter which car you're on and the Heber Valley Railroad. The views are the same. They're spectacular, especially here in winter. How can people find out what the times of departure are?
Well, our website's the easiest way. It's hebervalleyrr.org. We have all the information and you can buy tickets on the website. That's the easiest. Or you can call the ticket office and the number's there on the website.
All right. Well, the whistle's blowing for you to get on your ride here at the Heber Valley Railroad. Don't miss the train. All aboard for winter fun here at Heber. We'll be back with more of the Winter Weekend Show right after this.